Okay, here's another League of Legends game coming your way, this time with Victor Mid. So yeah, I get off-rolled from time to time, and this is a particularly annoying game. So you can see the various matchups there. We have Illaoi top into Darius. Illaoi's running Aery. I don't know if that's normal or not. I don't really play her or play against her really, so I can't comment. We have Kha'Zix in the jungle against Kai'Sa. Basically, I needed to get one more win against her for the mission, so here we are. I'm Victor Mid against Diana, a very, very interesting Diana. And then we have Vayne Lulu bot against Ashe. So Ez is running Klepto, that is mistake number one. Ashe is running Spellbook, which is interesting in and of itself. Darius is running Press the Attack, and Kai'Sa is running Fleet Footwork. So I was kind of confused by their stuff, and don't worry, the confusion's going to get worse when you actually see Diana in lane. So notice I have the level 3 flare right there on my border, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it, the top of my character's picture. I will talk about that in a moment because that's actually very relevant for the game at hand. Why is that, you ask? Well, just wait until you see how top lane plays out. So right here I'm mousing over, and this is when I realized, okay, what is going on with their summoners? Well, not their summoners, their keystones, I mean. So here I'm pinging this out to my allies so that they realize it. And when I record this, I hadn't restarted my computer in a while, so just be aware that the frame rate's going to chug a little bit here and there. It's one of those things that you have to watch out for. So anyway, I have everything set up the way I want it. There we go. Now, the thing that I always have to remember to do for Victor is turn the smart cast off E. I prefer to manually aim the vector. So right here is when you'll see the frame rate chug, but it gets better, don't worry.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
So right here I'm just standing guard in case they want to invade. I want to get vision of the brush so that if they come in, I can drop my E, I can drop my W, I can do a few different things and do stuff. Now, as for what you start with, the thing about Diana is you have the advantage over her until level 6. At 6 is when she can finally start to turn things around. So if you did have to start with your W, it's not really the end of the world, just make sure you poke her with auto attacks instead. Now, against your average Diana, you may actually want to max Q. Like, there's a few different things, but right there you can see my runes and mass. Well, my runes, if you want to look at them. It's Summon Aery, Mana Flow Band, Celerity, and then Gathering Storm. And then on the other side, it's Inspiration. I am running Summoner Insight. And Perfect Timing, that's what the stopwatch is called. So look at her inventory. She started with a Sapphire Charm and or Sapphire Crystal and a Fairy Charm. So she has no sustain, especially in a matchup where there is heavy poke, and she's actually going to cry in all chat about this. Now, how can this get worse, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. So watch how she plays her Qs. That didn't hit a thing other than me. And level 1, like, her Q doesn't really do that much. It would make sense if she was using that for last hitting, I could somewhat justify that. But she's not. I'm gonna have to triple her CS before we go back. So I'm staying off on the side because as long as she's aiming for me, that's all well and good. I have potions, so we can actually trade 1 for 1 and I will come out ahead. And if she gets too close, I can always use my Q. So if you don't know how Victor works, I'll go over that real quick. Your passive is the Hexcore, that is the spot in the 3rd slot of my inventory. That gives you mana and AP per level up. You can spend about 1,000 gold on average. First one's 1250 and then the last one's 750. That will increase the amount of scaling AP and mana you get. And then when you rank that up, you get the ability to augment one of your spells, which is best thought of as like a Kha'Zix evolution. And then once you have the 3rd, well, all of your basic spells upgraded, then your ult automatically augments. So this is the part that made me a little bit optimistic about the game. Don't worry, that will quickly change. Your Q is Siphon Energy. It's a targeted ability you cast on something. It gives you a shield scaling off your mana and a little bit of your AP. So right here, Kaisa is there. I was hoping to get more out of them, but had I taken Ignite, I probably would have killed Diana, but the grand scheme of things, it wouldn't be worth it. So anyway, Siphon Energy gives you the shield. That was recently buffed. I don't think I've done a Victor game since the buff with it. I think I've played against him, though. And then if you augment it, then it gives you movement speed when you cast it, so you can actually run people down. So there is a Victor strategy all about this. You go with Fleet Footwork, you will max and augment Q first, I believe. Your first item is Lichbane, and then you try to do stuff that way. I'm going for Classical Victor because we need it. The whole Lichbane thing is a really good dueling strategy, but here, that's not our win condition exactly. So anyway, your W is Gravity Field. You drop your device on the ground. It will slow the enemy if they don't get out of it in time. Then the third proc of the slow is a stun. Yeah. So here's when she's going to start crying in all chat and try to throw the game. Intentionally throw the game, I should mention. So when you upgrade the gravity field, what ends up happening is it will pull everyone that's stunned into the middle of it. It's pretty handy for comboing with your ult, or if you have a lot of AoE spells among your teammates that they can use, like a Crow Storm, a Slicing Maelstrom, Curse of the Sad Mummy, Bullet Time, stuff like that. So right here I have to poke her down before she hits level 6, otherwise she's going to go all in on me. If you notice, she does have a refillable. She has her Tear of the Goddess because she's going for Seraphs for some reason. I was a little confused about that one because on Diana mid, I would go for the Ice Belt thing. I forget exactly what it's called. It's a bunch of letters. Anyway, your E is Death Ray. It is a vector spell, so you fire it like a Rumble ult. It will deal a nice little chunk of damage up front, but when you have it upgraded, it will have the Aftershock effect where it will deal a bigger burst afterwards. It is your wave clear move for the first and foremost. So anyway, right here I want to go back and get my... Actually, I think I stick around for a little bit, since I do have the mana. I'll talk about the build stuff in a moment. And then finally, your ult is Chaos Storm. So you drop a Storm of sorts, it will damage the enemy if they're inside of it on 2-second intervals. It used to be really, really good, now it's just passable. That's probably the best way to describe it. And then when all of your other spells are augmented, it travels faster. So right here is her all-in. And I'm going to use the Chaos Storm basically to force her out of line. So don't be afraid to do that, especially if you know she's running Ignite and not Teleport, because she has to walk back. Now my plan here was just try to last long enough so that I could teleport back. It's not going to play out that way, sadly. So there's Kaisa. Her W doesn't seem to do a lot early game, but it packs more of a punch late. So she pretty much wants me just because their bot lane isn't really going to be able to do too much just yet. They need the Crystal Arrow. If you notice, that bot lane hasn't achieved level 6 yet. She can pick up the mid lane CS while Diana recalls. It's annoying there how that auto attack wouldn't go off. And then Illaoi is too busy feeding to actually do anything. So in case you're wondering, I'm with Kha'Zix on this one because, to put it bluntly, she's not dying to ganks. She is doing something fundamentally wrong with the character, and it's not Ka's fault. I actually will say in chat, junglers cannot fix stupidity, which is the case we have right here. So anyway, I now have Flash, I have my first upgrade. Since the mana item change, Victor is more of a balancing act than he used to be, I'm afraid. You still have the option to not get one at all, it's just... with the changes to Luden's Echo, it's... well, how to put it? There are two ways to play Victor if you're going to go for one of the mana items. You can go the Luden's Echo and then poke wave clear route, which is what I do here. Your alternative is if you know you're in a really nasty lane, you can go for Seraph's Embrace instead, and that will give you a massive Q shield. And additionally, that will give you the Seraph shield to use as well. So right here she has a Ruby Crystal. I believe she's going for Morello. So right here she's thinking she's going to get a Pink Ward bait going. And yeah, get out of my lane, Diana. So right there she had to flash, otherwise she would have died. She comes back, and I'm just using this Pink Ward to bait her back into bad trades. At this point I think she finally realized, yeah, I better let that go before I die.
Analyzing approach.
So real quick, if you didn't see what Diana's running, she is in Domination with Electrocute as her keystone, and then she's in Precision as her other one, which is kind of interesting because I'd go Sorcery for sure. So right here I'm going to start building towards the Ludens. Right here I want the mana regen as well as the CDR, so look at the Lost Chapter. And now I have to talk about Illaoi. So what she's doing is 100% her fault, and it is, I'd say, 95% stupidity and 5% arrogance. So I mentioned that loading screen flare way back at the beginning of the video. After playing this game, I kind of wish I could go back and show this video because it was on the previous patch. I had a game as Kennen where the enemy jungler seriously only ganked top the entire game. I had a Kha'Zix jungle myself. Now the thing is, while the enemy was solely focused on my lane, if you're wondering why you didn't see it in the first place, I'm literally farming under tower with my Q as Kennen. That's pretty much like the entire first 20 minutes of the game. So while they're up there, Kha'Zix just goes around and takes everything else. He has complete dragon control, he ganks the bot, he ganks the mid, he gets those lanes snowballing, and what ends up happening is at the end I just have to push E, run in there, push ult, push my Zonias, and that's literally the entire fight. So close. And in Illaoi's case, it's very similar. All she has to do is just play safe. But she has the mentality where if she doesn't carry, no one will. And she's too stupid to realize that we outscale them by no small margin. You have to realize, first and foremost, we have Vayne. That alone is pretty massive. So right here we got the S-Flash, and right here I was kind of confused. Why is bot lane here and mine under their tower? That's not really something I can help. So anyway, we have Vayne with her late game scaling, and then Viktor has, due to the way the Hexcore works, he has very, very high AP totals, and they're going to be even higher because I'm running Gathering Storm. I basically will scale infinitely. So all she literally has to do is stop being stupid and play the damn game. But too complicated. So right here I'm just saying, I don't want to hear you, bitch. Either play the game or get the fuck out. She's gonna finally pull her head out of her ass and start doing stuff, don't worry, but it takes a while. And then she still rages at Ka. And right here I'm telling her, you're seeing this game. Either you learn a thing or just leave. It's up to her what she wants to do. It may sound harsh, but as soon as I saw how Diana started the game, I knew I had this lane won. And unfortunately, this is a lot more common these days. I will go ahead and spoil it that Illaoi did get banned after this game. So, I'm kind of hoping, hey, Fortnite's picking up steam, maybe these guys will go troll that game instead, and then those of us that actually play the game can play the game. Go figure, right? So right there's his bone plating, which is actually kind of annoying, since that will shave off like 40 damage from my aftershock or something like that. Thing is, it does have a sizable cooldown, so you can only use it once every wave, approximately. And right here you can see Diana realize, yeah, she's gonna die if she tries to fight me. So Illaoi is gonna give her free farm to get her back into the game, and I will try to deal with Darius in the meantime. Now, since First Blood Tower is already gone, there isn't really too much of a need to take this. But the reason why I do is I want to open up the mid lane, and then the additional effect is you do get to give your teammates gold, so maybe the bot lane can start doing a little bit more, because top lane's not going to amount to a damn thing. Heartbreaking how I missed the cannon, I know. Like, one of the things I'm not looking forward to with Riot deciding, hey, we're going to change wave clear is, unless they're going to give these massive compensation buffs to Viktor, Vel'Koz, and the like, they are going to be literally garbage overnight. You'll seriously have a League of Assassins where you don't even push the wave, it's just you up and leave. And it's even worse because Riot is taking all the gold out of the small minions and putting it in the cannon minion to further encourage this whole roaming strategy. They're not thinking, and it's getting to the point where it's really crippling the game. So right there we got his heal. Just make sure to pop that ward. You do get EXP and gold for it, so it's worth doing. And right here I just want to poke him down a bit. Remember, I do have my ult, so if they don't respect that, I will vaporize them. The thing I'm worried about here is the crystal arrow. That's pretty much the only thing that can save them. So I think I will finish the Hexcore before I actually go and get the Ludens. Right there, mid fell. Not really much I can do since there's just this massive black hole where our top lane should be. And to be completely honest, I wasn't really planning on uploading the game anyway, which is why I didn't just outright mute the Illaoi. Like, if someone is going to be that stupid, I am going to make fun of them. It's that simple. Now, unfortunately, right there, they got the most annoying dragon they could get. So that's going to allow Diana to make her map moves a little bit more quickly. It's going to help Darius engage. And you have to remember that Cloud Dragon has changed as of this patch, so it's no longer just flat out of... No, it's no longer out of combat movement speed, exactly. You have normal movement speed increase that increases outside of combat, so... It's a little bit more dangerous for me since I need to keep them away until I poke them down. Right there, if you look at the inventory, Ezreal has an Essence Reaver. This I found kind of interesting. That's probably how I would play as if I were to play him these days, but I would not go Kleptomante for crying out loud. So right there, she used her Q, but I don't know if that was just my shield or Lulu's shield too, but the important thing is I took no damage off of it. And then remember, once her Q is down, you can start poking her a bit because she has to wait till that comes back up, otherwise when she ults in, she's got nothing to follow up on that. So right there, the crystal arrow whizzes by, they're fishing for me. So right there, I want to give them the heads up, she just burned her crystal arrow if they didn't see it. And right here, all I really have to do is just keep clearing the wave because, like we said, we outscale and not by small margins either. this is when we actually probably should start looking to pick a fight. It's just unfortunate that Aery does so little damage that it barely pierced the Diana shield. Now, the one bad thing about all of us being here is we have to split the CS among all of us, and since Vayne and I are the late game powers, we kind of do need to spread out to maximize our gold generation. So right here I was hoping Ezreal would try to ambush me in the jungle, but he's not. He seems to know a little bit better. And then you can see Ashe. So I want to stand behind the minion so when she tries to volley over the wall, it's not going to do anything to me. This is the second Ashe support I've seen lately, so I kind of know what to expect. It's right there as ulted to try to push the wave. That's all well and good. And then, just like last time, the thing I have to worry about is the crystal arrow. If I evade that, I am fine. So I'm kind of interested why Ez sat there. I don't know if he lagged or something, because that would make the most sense. That tower is going to hit him for like 3 to 4 times harder than he hits it. So right there, Illaoi dies to Diana. You have to remember, since she's in the domination tree, that does mean she gets some sort of stack. I don't know which one she's running exactly. If it's the movement speed or the healing. And then with Kha'Zix right there, I want Ashe. So unfortunately, I mess up the gravity well a little bit. Right there, we kill Kai'Sa. I get the red buff, so I can use that with my Q. Thing is, I have enough gold now that I want to go back. Luden's costs like 2,300, I think, from where I'm at now. So I just go ahead and grab my final augment, and then I keep my gold until I can go ahead and pick it up. So anyway, with that, my ult will now travel faster. I now have the highest amount of scaling per level. And right around now is when I want to start looking to pick a fight. So I have the level 2 ult. It's going to be coming off cooldown in a little bit. We'll have a minion wave first and foremost. Now the thing is, Darius is not going to build any MR at all at any stage of the game. He's also going to keep messing up his E like that. So basically, as a result, I am the one who's going to be the most effective against Darius. So right there was a little heartbreaking that Vayne condemned him out of my stun, but it's very, very common to see Vaynes do that. A lot of people think that the skill in Vayne seems to be pushing R and then Qing to dodge damage and so on. From my experience, it's just hoping they don't screw up the E. So right here I want to go after Diana since I think she's pretty easy to kill. I don't know if we can see her inventory just yet. She has a very unique build and not something that I'd really ever recommend doing. So unfortunately right here, Ka eats the crystal arrow and goes down. The thing is, Vayne can run the rest of them down. So right there, she gets 2, and I can't let that go by, so I gotta get 2 of my own. So that's Ez's heal, and watch this. That was my E and ult combined. So right here, Diana goes in for the free kill on Illaoi. I stun her, force her flash. Vayne goes ahead and picks up her triple, actually, here. And then as for Darius, here's where Vayne actually lands a really good hit. So right there, he's stunned under tower. I drop my gravity field. Slows him down long enough for me to get my Q off, and down he goes. So right here we want to get the tower so we maximize our gold income, our profit, I guess, from that play. We basically aced them for 2 of us. Remember, Illaoi said, we can't win this, it's over, yada yada yada. Not even close. So now that we have our gold, we want to pick up the dragon. This is going to be pretty massive for us. Me, most of all, because Victor's spells are really expensive. So right here I'll drop the gravity field in case someone tries to jump the wall. So as I was saying, me in particular, because I'm going to get enough sustain off of that to where I actually don't need the blue buff. I'm still going to take it this game, and it comes into play a little bit later. It's just the game needed to go one team fight longer for you to see what I mean. So if you want to know my build, I'm going to be getting 20% from the Luden CDR, that is, 10% from the Lucid, and 10% from Zonia's. The blue buff will give me the additional 10%. If I were running Transcendence, I'd have 20% over, which will give me 24 AP or something like that. Not really a lot. I value the celerity a little bit more, especially for their team comp. So the change that I'm talking about is late game I can sell the Lucids for Sorcerer Shoes, because at that stage the team fights are so few and far between that not having the Summoner spell cooldown is not really an issue anymore. So if you notice, they're all on the top side. We can try to press this towards mid. It's just we do have to worry about them having us surrounded. So right here I want to help Illaoi. Sadly, my ult didn't really get to do much. I should have probably focused more from Kaisa than Diana. Not entirely sure what happened to Ka back there, but here's where things are going to get really dust. So it's heartbreaking right here is my stun pulled him out of the aftershock, so I have to kill him, or Luden killed him. So right there I try to save Vayne. It's no go. She kills Ezreal, dies to Ashe, then Lulu solos Ashe here, or what's left of Ashe, I guess. Now here's where Kaisa goes after Lulu. You have to remember, as the teammate, I can't leave my Yordle alone. So one stun, one death ray, and good night, Kaisa.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Sadly, we did lose the tower in that, so I'd say overall, we got 4 of them for 3 of us, but they got the tower. I'd say that fight went more their way than ours. So anyway, the next item I want is to finish my Zonias. It's a very, very important item where I'm going to have a Darius and a Diana on my back. So keep in mind right here I can afford to be down here because I have teleport. I think I was talking about this a little bit earlier, but I think it's 2 really good teleport plays this game. Sadly, you haven't seen either of them yet. They're all endgame stuff in case you're wondering. So right here I don't know how the team got caught out, but here I would say, yeah, that could be it for us because they're all up. They killed 4 of us. They have minions and everything. It's pretty much up to me to make a one-man stand. And the thing is, Viktor can actually do this. It's right there, gravity field, my ult, my stopwatch. And I'm going to flash to safety, fire my death ray behind me. That killed Ezreal and vaporized enough minions to stop their push. We almost lost our end right there. Luden's OP, I tell ya. So while my stopwatch is broken, the good news is with that Ezreal kill, that did give me enough gold to just go get this hourglass. So, no loss. And yes, while my flash may be on cooldown, the flip side of that is I am wearing Lucid boots, so that's even not really a big deal. So right here you can see Ez has his IE. I didn't get to see what Diana had exactly. I think she has Nashers at the moment. Since I don't play mid lane a lot, I don't actually know what the ideal build is for Diana, because I want to say you probably would want Lichbane first, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Nice thing about getting the Nashers, though, is it does give you attack speed, so you get more passive procs off. That in turn will give you more mana sustain. And then you always have that 20% CDR.
An ally has been slain.
So Illaoi died, that's no surprise. But right here I realized, yeah, let's give Ashe a surprise. Boom! So I don't know if she burned Crystal Arrow or not, but if they wanted to do anything, they are going to think twice. And keep in mind, I have so much CDR, full 45% right now, that my ult doesn't really go on cooldown for that long. I will have it up for every team fight, and if the fight goes long enough, twice per team fight. So right here, Diana thought she had me, but then she realized we had her. So once again, Darius ruins his pull. He botches his Righteous Glory. Part of that is due to the slow from the gravity field. I did stun Ez, if you noticed. And here's going to be the first hit. So Illaoi goes and commits suicide because dying once in this very spot was not enough for her. Vayne down. So I don't really know what Kai'Sa was thinking. Like I said, my ult has a very short cooldown. I killed Ashe with it, came back, killed Kai'Sa with it. And now, keep in mind, Kai'Sa's their jungler. That's why I was aiming for her. So once she's off the field, there's not really much they can do. They can try like an Ez ult to snipe this, but the Ka is competent. He's not going to botch that. So that's Ocean Dragon number 2, and as a result I have even more sustain. Like, on one hand I want to feel bad for the enemy team, but they have a free top lane, so there's that. Now I should also mention, if you notice, I didn't really care about getting the blue buff until the 3rd or 4th one, was it? Let's see, 2, 7, 12... I think it was the 4th one that I took. With the way mana flow band is, you really don't need it that early. It, more often than not, it's gonna help. The second one will help the jungler a lot more than it'll help the mid laner, so that's why I didn't say anything. I didn't even move to take it. I didn't ask. I showed absolutely no interest whatsoever. So right here they're going for Darius. I'm trying to intercept the people in the river. So you have to remember, with the Gravity Field and Chaos Storm, I can zone really hard right here. Bad news is the bug gets splattered fairly easily. But the way we win is we do need to kill Darius. So he does manage to kill Vayne, I have to pick him off. And overall, this is a lost fight. Luckily, Lulu does dodge that. And we didn't get to see it, but I guess the reason why it played out that way... Check out all those shields she has. The reason we lost that is because Darius used his flash in his Righteous Glory, I think. So right here I was wondering, do I want to get a Void Stab next? And the thing is, if you look at their inventory, they have no MR. None. On anyone. So I realized, yeah, the Void Staff's not going to help. I'm not even going to build it at all this game. What I'm going to get here is the Death Cap. So I want that because it's going to combo with Gathering Storm, the Hexcore and everything. Yeah, kind of killed himself, but luckily he stalled long enough for Vayne to get here. So if you notice, the Vayne ult is coming up any second now. It's up. They probably could have killed Kai'Sa, but I can understand why they wanted to turn around. We don't have vision on anyone. It's entirely possible Darius could teleport in or something, so... Like, that's not a misplay or anything, that's just a conservative, cautious play. A little sucky that Lulu took this since I'm trying to save up for something really, really big. And if you're wondering why I'm holding on to the Duran ring still, it's because I want that little bit of extra health. I know a lot of people will build Rylai's on Victor, and I can understand, it's just there's a better item of sorts I'd recommend. Like, part of the reason why I wanted to do a Kennen game is there's a lot of different ways to play him right now. What you get for his first item is extremely flexible. Like, if you're up against Sustain, go Morellos. If you have, like, if they're hard to pin down, then go Rylai's. And if it's, like, a really rough matchup, just go Zhonya's. Regardless, I'd say those three items are going to be core. The Morellos, maybe not, but those are pretty important items for him, so you can go either way first depending on what you're up against. In case you're wondering, yeah, I am thinking about picking him back up as one of my top laners. And in case you're wondering about my off-roll, I do change between top and mid from here and there. Top lane is not as popular as it used to be, so by queuing up for that as my secondary, I've actually gotten it a little bit more. And basically, if I want to try to get jungle more reliably, I go mid. It's just like 1 out of every 10 games, you will end up mid.
Function over 4.
So right here, this is up. I pretty much want this just so we have the speed field. That's going to be incredibly important for dealing with Darius. You can see Ashe got messed up. I dropped the gravity field trying to keep Kai'Sa out or some sort of re-engage. But the important thing is, she did die there. We still have everything. We can look to try to force Baron, but we don't actually want to start it because Darius is still an issue. And regrettably, he's going to be an issue for a long while yet. But anyway, right here you can see I took quite a bit of damage from the Kai'Sa W. It's not really that bad, but it's a little annoying. So watch as... So he's recalling, give him a moment so that he can go into his shop window. And down he goes. So in case you're wondering why I put that ward right there, that's why. I've seen that happen so damn many times, I can't rule out that it's going to happen in one game or another. It's just, go ahead and do it, you never know when you're going to get lucky like that. So right there, that is Baron for us. Thing is, I still need a little bit more gold in order to get the death cap. Actually, no, I didn't have enough. Okay, so we now have that, and then the next item I'm going to get is Morello. The reason for that is it's going to give me more HP to offset what I lost from the Duran ring. It's going to give me a little bit of penetration because if they're not building MR, there's no reason to go Void Staff. And then finally, they have quite a bit of sustain. I mean, they're a 3-man 80 carry team. And then they have Darius. So being able to inflict grievous wounds is huge. Now right here, you're going to see him botch his pull once again. QSSOP. So we lost the bug, but it's not really a big deal. While the Elder Dragon is up, I mean, it's just going to give them movement speed. The thing they have to worry about is we should not be fighting this, in case you're wondering. Should we get that instead, what's going to mean is if we do a siege, it's going to be extremely difficult for them to withstand my poke. I'm going to have almost unlimited mana, we will all heal very, very rapidly, and it's just all those pokes are going to add up. Now, the problem here is, I think Illaoi is going to kill herself. No, not yet. I know, that's happened so many times this game, it's hard to keep track of when she does it. If you want to know, she dies 14 times over the course of the 40-minute game. So right here, I was wondering if they were going to try to intercept Lulu. Luckily, they weren't. And overall, I don't really give a damn about giving her any gold, because I still have no value for her. Anyway, if you notice, Diana has a chain vest. she's going to be going for Dead Man's Plate, in case you're wondering. So right here I grab the blasting one. I was contemplating, do I want Liandry's? But since they separate how Liandry's works, it's Morello's that I actually need. In case you're wondering, Morello's does build out a blasting wand. It just requires some sort of new item. I forget exactly what it's called. So anyway, the two of them thought they were slick. Unfortunately for them, I think they know if we get into a fight, I am going to kill them. And if you had any doubts, there you go. So I thought she was recalling the brush there because I didn't know how her stealth works exactly. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter though. So right here, I'm knowing someone's going to... So right there, I wanted to splatter Diana before she does anything, and she's going to transition into a tank, if you want to know. So while Darius is pushing bot, I'm going to go ahead and intercept him. And basically, while I'm doing this, I just need to try to delay his recall, not get myself killed, because if I die, we lose the tower. And you can see I'm not going to be able to delay the recall. So the important thing is my team is using the Baron buff to go ahead and siege the mid lane, and right here is wondering, why the hell is Luden over here? Like, if she stayed with Vayne, they'd have more attack speed. They actually could have gotten the inhib here. And since she's just screwing around, I say, yeah, I need to get over here. Plus, it doesn't help that they're actually coming back up. So here, Illaoi is going to kill herself. I was kind of hoping if I shot some lasers over there, they'd think, okay, she's not alone, the team's coming, they'd back off. But no, she dies too quickly. So once again, he botches his pull. All I have to do is drop the gravity field and walk away. Okay, she's going to die one more time this game. But anyway, you can see Diana has a Gargoyle Stone Plate, which is one of the last things I'd expect to see on her, to be honest. It increases her survivability, yes, she's trying to withstand my initial burst, but it's not going to do her any favors long term. And then she's going to sell the Nashers for a Dead Man's Plate, I believe. So right here I don't have enough to finish Morello's, but I know we have a fight coming, so I wanted to get an elixir so that we can potentially not suck. But yeah. So while I would love to get close enough to actually do some wave clear, it's just, that's way too dangerous. I can eat a crystal arrow, they'll pile on me, and that'll literally do that. What's worse is they don't even actually have to do that. Diana can use her Lunar Rush and then her Moonfall on me. That'll slow me enough so that Darius can be close enough to pull, and here's the big throw. So if I had Morello's there, I think we actually would have won that fight, because we knows how much Darius and Co healed. The important thing is I got the only 2 kills that we got for that fight. They literally sat and fought in my Gravity Field and Chaos Storm. It's just I didn't have the Morello's for the Groove Swings, I was saying. So if you look at Ez's build, he has his Trinity, which is kind of an interesting build, I guess. And, yeah. I think Morello's costs 3,000 even, so with the blasting one, it should be down to 2,150. So notice we did lose 1 inhib, and they're laying waste to this one. Now right here, they tunnel on Ka. All Darius had to do was hit that one last time. Had they gotten that, this probably would be an hour-long game. right here, I need to drop a ward so I have something to teleport to. If you remember, I made 2 teleport plays this game, and you've only seen 1 so far. So someone who's a particularly strong magic user needs to go clear out top because of the way the siege minions work. And since Vayne is not going, that's gonna end up being me. Okay, I grabbed blue buff first. That's fine, basically just gives me infinite mana for the most part. So I'm going to lead off with my stun, that way I don't take any damage to clearing that. You could also argue I'm probably not going to take any anyway because my Q is up so much and it has a nice chunk of mana to draw its power from.
Submit to my designs.
And there we go. Sadly, I don't have enough to buy the elixir again. If you notice, it's timed out. So Darius botches his pull one last time. Ashe botches her arrow. And right here, they're in disengage mode. Since I'm too slow, I'm never going to make it in time. I say, yeah, I'll get her on top. So just remember that ward I dropped in the Baron Pit is the important one. Overall, I thought they were going to try to, like, bait a Baron play or something, like, bait a fight. But they're attacking it. That's when I realized, okay, this is final battle on this stuff. I need to be here. So there's the crystal arrow, and here I come. So drop the gravity field to protect Vayne, drop the Chaos Storm, and right here they no longer have healing. Sadly, Ashe dies before the Chaos Storm can hit her, so I don't get anything off that. And while Vayne goes for her Penta, I just want to push this out. So remember, by giving Baron buff to the minions, they do travel faster. It's really sucky here that Lulu is pulling all of the minions out of formation, so I can't just cast E and kill them. I'm kind of going to give Lulu the benefit of the doubt that since not too many people play Viktor these days, she may not actually know that she's actively hurting us with some of the stuff she's doing. So right there, how I cleared that wave, I could have done that to everything in the Super's path. But that's the end of the game. So despite Illaoi's best efforts, we won. Got hands on the base of any of the bosses, especially Illaoi. And you see the endgame stats. Right there I got a message from Crimson, in case you're wondering. Have to give this to Vayne, since she probably did the most for us, I'd say. That's the Kaisa mission, so I get 300 blue essence. I'm a little bit closer to picking up someone else. Emphasis on a little bit. And you get to see the stats, but I'm going to call it quits here. I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.